Okay. Hello and welcome to Film Hunters, where we try and search for a well-written film in this day and age.
I'm Aaliyah.
And I'm Jonathan. And
And
together,
today,
together today, we are together today. How did you ever know?
we're going to be talking about together D&D, or I guess it's Dungeons and
Dungeons and
Dragons
Dragons.
Honor Among Thieves.
It's a wacky name.
It'd be interesting at the very end of this, I want to dissect that name and see.
Okay, well, at the end of this, we will dissect the name.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the movie?
What did you think?
What did you think?
What did I think?
Yeah.
It was, when I first watched it, looking back on it, I was going to do a 7.5 out of 10. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to drop it down to a 6.5. It's just, it's above average. I feel like it's a decent movie when you're got a head cold and you turn on the TV and go, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I did enjoy this movie. I shall watch this movie. If you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean, I think the overall plot and like characters are but like the small parts, like the dialogue was funny, things seemed to flow well. Like overall,
Yes, it
it
did
was
have good
good.
pacing.
Yeah, it had good pacing. And like if you did have a head cold, you wouldn't think about, "Oh, wow, this plot's a little interesting," or like, I'm not sure about that character development." But
Yes.
yeah.
And I
So,
just want to say, Simon is my boy.
I'm not gonna lie. Simon and Zenk.
They
Zenk? Zank?
Zenk, yes. They should have saved
Zenk.
the tablet just for when Simon dies. Like, who cares about his wife?
Yes!
Who cares about the barbarian?
Uh-uh.
We need
Uh-uh.
Simon. We need to turn Simon
I
into
am
an immortal
here for
lick because
Simon!
he's the best. We need a sequel just about Simon and the Tiefling. And
Yeah,
Zenk
not
shows
gonna
up too.
lie.
Because
Yes,
I
and
also
Zenk.
enjoyed her.
I enjoyed her too, yeah. Everyone else, the actual main characters, I didn't actually care for.
I kind of liked Chris Pine.
Okay, I did kind of like him. I thought he was funny. But he also didn't really do much. I didn't feel like he had, like, everyone else kind of did stuff. But I didn't feel like he did very much.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like he didn't. You're right. I didn't notice this, but he didn't have the most agency.
Yeah, things just kind of happened to him, and everyone else would, like,
Well,
do stuff. And,
he
like,
did the first thing, right? Where he
he
okay.
did. Yeah.
He was the plan guy. Like he
He
basically
was the plan guy, but, like, he's a bard. He
okay.
could do other stuff.
Here's the thing. Sokka did plan guy much better from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh. Oh, see, I actually didn't pay
'Cause
attention. I didn't watch all that.
because
I,
I feel like plan guy is an archetype that has its faults because of, as you say, lack of agency, as in they just say and other people do.
mm-hmm.
And I think Sokka does it better in that, he's a depowered guy in a group of people who all have these cool powers, and he just sits and watches his plan go on, and that's like an entire plot of an episode, by the way.
Oh, is it? In what
Yeah,
season?
I think the third.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that far.
We have to watch this show sometime. It's so good.
I watched the first season a
Wasn't
bit.
it great?
Skipped around, got a little bored.
Well, yeah, you skipped around
And
in
then
a
I read.
narrative TV show.
Well,
That's like
no,
you.
it's not that I
What?
skipped
What's
around.
next?
It's
You're
that
gonna
I skipped
no,
ones.
no. What you're going to do is you're going to. This is literally
No,
like
I
you.
looked. I
No,
looked
no,
and
no,
I
no.
read the thing.
Literally, what you do is you're going to read the Hobbit's birthday, and then you're going to skip to the Two Towers and be like, "Oh my goodness, this is boring. I have no idea what's going on." I bet you watched
I
3 episodes. You watched the first one. You watched
no
the one
stop.
about King Boomy in the middle, and then you randomly watched the one with the moon.
Okay, so first of all, I would never do that to Lord of the Rings. Second of all,
I did it.
I watched them. You monster.
Yeah. I did it.
Although I would not be against skipping to like when Gondolin shows up in the Silmarillion.
You just
I
like Gondolin.
well no, I'm it's just starting to get interesting.
I
Like
think you just like Gondolin.
finally. I'm not against Gondolin. It's pretty chill. Crazy things happening. We're about to have a human show up.
Oh,
It's pretty fun.
human, you racist.
Human. Yeah, because they're all elves right now.
Oh, I hate
Like the
elves.
dwarves random. Yeah, that's fair. But the dwarves randomly showed up, and then they just kind of like, we don't like elves, except Eol, the dark elf. They seem to like him, and Maglin, like, learned all this stuff from the dark elves, goes to Gondolin, almost dies, doesn't die, and then he's like, whoop, now I get to pass all this knowledge, except I like my cousin, and for some reason she hates me because of that, so now I'll just become evil. So that's kind of... Anyway, but my
Okay,
point
wow.
is that I watched almost the whole first season, but I got bored. And then I read all the summaries on Wikipedia, and then I basically seen it all.
What? Oh yeah, I read The Hobbit's Birthday, and then I just read the Spark Notes of Lord of the Rings. I've read Lord of the Rings.
No. No. Okay. I don't have enough time in my life to do that. I'm watching
Yeah, I don't have
Maverick
enough.
right now.
I don't have enough time in my life to read The Lord of the Rings.
Okay, that was me 6 months ago.
I'm
Now
just
it's
saying.
not. So, make time.
No.
Actually, you won't. My point is, what was our point?
Simon is the greatest?
Yeah, I think that kind of was our whole point. Oh, plan guy.
Yeah, I'm saying they didn't handle him very well because he didn't
Yeah.
have enough agency. He should have been in the plans more.
Yes. What upset me is the one time when he was like using his bard thing when he was like going towards the
I'm
guards
like,
and strumming
finally!
his thing. The one time I was like, yes, finally he's using his bard skills.
And
It turns out it's Simon.
Okay, this is my second biggest critique of this film. The other one being that the barbarian was stupid. She wasn't a very good character. I didn't care about her
No.
husband. I don't know anyone who did, and it's all like, oh, you left your entire tribe for me, and that scarred you for life, so I divorced you. I think they're
Yeah,
both a
like
bunch of idiots. I'll be honest.
I'm gonna be honest here too. I think they are. I
Yes,
wasn't a fan.
I don't care about either of their happiness. I just don't. I'm sorry. I care about Simon's happiness though.
I always care about Simon's happiness. It made me so happy when the tiefling's like, fine. I'm like, yes! It made me happy.
Here's the question: who's better, Simon or Bean Guy? This is an excellent question. Let's see. So Bean Guy eats beans.
He eats
He
beans and
he has some of the best dialogue in the movie.
yeah, he runs around with a really big gun.
That is true. He has a big gun, but Simon can make things
Has
smell
a
like
cool
grass.
helmet. He can make things smell like grass. That is true.
By the way, a joke that you didn't get, when the lady said my child can do that, the spell he was doing was called prestidigitation, and it's known like in the lore for being like a practice thing for like extremely basic wizards or like as a cheap trick.
Oh.
Basically,
funny.
it's the equivalent of him getting on the stage and doing the what's behind your ear routine.
Oh. Oh dear, that's funny.
Anyway, which I appreciate that they showed him like doing novice things, and then okay, I'll give them this: the payoff with the counterspell was so good
What?
because the first time they met the red wizardess, he failed to counterspell her time stopping spell.
Yeah, but in the end, he didn't counter.
Yeah, he did. He did counterspell it.
No, he didn't.
He faked trying it.
No, the girl put the magic restraining bracelet on her arm.
Yeah, but he counterspelled it, and here's the thing: they counterspelled it, and they all faked that it worked, so that her guard would be down because she thinks time has stopped when it really hasn't.
So then someone came
And
she came and put the thing on her.
Yes, that's what I got from the scene.
Oh, I did not gather that, but
Because
I
he
can
had a
see
line
that.
about how he got better.
Yeah, he did. She's like, you can't do it. He's like, I got better or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was a really good
I
payoff
wish they would
because
have
he
put a line
failed.
in there so we'd have known.
I don't know. Well, to be fair, you couldn't hear half the lines, so they could have
That is also true.
half
There
the
was too
movie
many
could have been
cows.
lines
That is
about
true.
literally half the movie in fact was lines saying over and over again, oh by the way he got better, oh by the way he got better, he got better at the counterspell, they counterspelled it, and you just missed them all.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yes, very
that's fair.
fair.
Uh, anyway, I did enjoy. I felt like they had some pretty good payoffs. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember when I was disappointed by the payoffs.
Okay,
Except
while
his wife
we're
not
while
coming
we're
back.
yeah, while we're on the topic, let's discuss the intro because all of us really enjoy discussing intros.
Yes, I do enjoy discussing intros.
Well,
So, oh
yes.
yes. Oh, now I remember this intro. You can tell it.
So let's tell the intro and then let's
Okay.
discuss it.
So
First,
there's
so it
this
opens.
prison. Okay, you can
You
tell.
can tell it. No, if you really want
Okay,
to.
okay. So there's this prison sled, and they're going along on the ice, and there's like this prison, and they like back it up to the prison like a semi truck, and then they let him out, and it's this really ugly, tough dude, and they like put him in chains and everything. And they bring him into jail, and they put him in the same cell as Chris Pine and the Barbarian Lady. By the way, Chris Pine's name is Edgin. I
Again,
kept
okay.
referring to him as Chris Pine from then forth.
We
And
shall
so,
continue to refer to him as Chris Pine.
all right. So they put him in the same cell as Chris Pine, and Chris Pine's like started talking to him or something, and then he started trying to hit on the Barbarian, Helga. I remember her name. And then she was sitting and eating her potato, and he's like, oh, you don't want to mess with her while she's eating her potatoes. And so then he continues to mess with her, so she puts her potatoes down and beats him up. And that
Okay.
is the introduction to our character. And then I think she keeps eating her potatoes.
Yes. The
And that's our
potatoes.
introduction
The
to Chris
potatoes
Pine and
joke
Helga.
broke the rule of three.
Did it
Yeah, they
to...
kept bringing those up. The
I'm
potatoes
only
got
remembering three,
annoying.
but they may have talked about it.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
time, second time
Okay.
when they're like, she's throwing potatoes, and then third time when she threw the potato at what's his face.
I'll be honest. I get really annoyed whenever I see potatoes in a medieval setting
Yeah.
because they didn't exist in the Middle Ages. But there's fantasy. Okay, then please give me the fantasy Andes Mountains. I want to see this. I would enjoy watching this movie. Please give me this. And I know for a fact that the fantasy Andes Mountains does not exist in the Forgotten Realms. If it does not exist in the Forgotten, also there should be llamas. If there are potatoes, we should be having llamas everywhere as well. Are you telling me
I
we're
want
being
llamas.
deprived of fantasy llamas because of your historical ignorance? Yes.
Oh man. I want fantasy llamas.
So suddenly you agree with me. Everyone suddenly agrees with me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Simon with a pet alpaca?
Yes.
Exactly. We got deprived of that by these people.
You know, the tiefling can turn into any animal.
Any animal that she's seen, and no, she can't actually turn into an owlbear. I don't know where they got that idea.
No, I know nothing about D&D, so
I
I
know
don't even
enough
play it.
because we play the vastly superior game of Fallout Pen and Paper.
Yes, and I know nothing about that game either, actually.
You can play it.
Yeah, that's about it, and people have to help me, but it's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so that's our introduction. What do you think?
Number one,
First thoughts.
the
Okay, number one.
logistics. The logistics. The logistics. Why are you putting a big Tuchus fortress prison complex in the middle of a mountain?
Don't you see that so they can have the prisoners hack up snow later?
Yeah, but why?
Hot toddies.
What?
For hot toddies? Hot chocolate?
But
They can melt the snow and have hot chocolate.
but okay, but they need to carry wood up. Wouldn't it be better to build it beside a river and get the water for the hot chocolate beside the river?
Hmm. That is a good point.
And
But
then
how are you
there'd be
supposed to have
trees
iced
there.
chocolate?
Okay, I don't like iced chocolate. Iced
No,
coffee is
that's kind of
also
gross.
stupid. And where are they going to get coffee? I know of no fantasy Ethiopia or Yemen. Also, coffee is an Arab thing right now, so it would be racist of them to drink coffee. Cultural
Oh.
appropriation. I know we're big on this time of year or day or
Oh.
whatever. Yes,
Why?
which means all the leftists in Portland have to stop drinking coffee because it's a Arab thing.
Lol, Starbucks goes out of business.
Yes, no, Arabs only can drink coffee. It's cultural appropriation. I mean, Starbucks is literally a European coffee house, so they're more bored on cultural appropriation.
Moles.
But I don't care because it's Europeans.
I understand though, like they would have to cart literally everything over the frozen tundra.
Yes, so I'm going to play devil's advocate. There is a large amount of spells that can be used to make food and water.
Oh.
But I'm going to play a second devil's advocate here. Why in the world are you putting your high-powered mage here to make food and water for these idiot and there would have to be a large amount of them for these idiots when you could be having them defending your fortress? Because remember, magic is rare enough that when the red priestess or the red wizard started doing her thing, there was not a single random wizard poking around in that place that went, hold on a second.
That is true.
So we have to assume that magic is semi-rare. So where in the world are they going to get, these things? And remember, Simon was able to fill a theater with prestidigitation. So for all her joke, he's probably the only sorcerer in the area. Or at least, in the small village.
Oh, except her son, who's gonna become a sorcerer apparently.
Maybe a wizard.
There's a difference?
Yeah, there is. Sorcerers get it
Oh
from a
my word.
bloodline. Sorcerers get it from a bloodline, and wizards get it from sheer practice and knowledge.
Oh. Interesting. Good to know. So
Anyway, my
yeah.
point is logistically they would have to have wizards to do, a wizard would do it, which in the rules of the movie, yeah, but then we have to ask why weren't the wizards like the only conceivable solution is that the con man kicked out every single magic user.
What con man?
Or because you remember
Forge.
Actually, no,
Yeah.
there's a reason for this. Remember the anti-magic bracelets? He probably put them on everyone who entered that was a wizard, and all the wizards would have entered.
Yeah.
But then again, what wizard would enter where you have anti-magic bracelets? It seems
Yeah,
more
so I was about
likely.
to say, I just wouldn't go if
Yeah,
I
it's
was a wizard.
and it just seems more likely to me that he just had those two for them, since he wanted to force them in, or whatever.
Yeah, and it's not like you saw anyone standing at the gate being like, "Hey, you wizard? Oh, here you go. You get a fancy bracelet."
Yeah, yeah. So it's more logical according to the rules that we've been presented that there was no wizards in the town. Again, this has in-universe solutions like that he kicked them all out in preparation because it. I'm just saying that it would be really sad if she started like her whole thing and then there was just a random wizard in the spell and he yells counter spell and then she just falls and she's like no.
Whoops.
And
Thousands
then
of
she's
years.
like, I'm gonna cast it again. And then some other idiot's like, counter spell. We're trying to
Counterspell.
watch the game, you idiot. Oh, if you ever DM for D&D, you want to make your big bad evil guy that's a wizard really hated. Counterspell a healing spell.
Wow,
That's like,
pretty mean.
Yeah, that is really mean. They're gonna be like,
Oh no! Oh no!
like it's
That's
just
funny.
a jerk move, and it'll
It
really
is.
it'll make them hate him. Like it's a very good shorthand. That's not like I kicked the puppy. Well, was it in your way? Nope. Was it barking at you? Nope. Well, okay, wow.
All right then, we know you're evil
Okay.
now.
Yeah, I feel like that's overdone because that's like way too much of a cliche.
Yeah.
But that's just a way in D&D. Or if they make like another D&D, they could do that. Dude, I want Xanathar to be the next villain.
Who's Xanathar?
Look up Xanathar right now. I
Me?
mean
Z.
X A in yeah, Athar. I was really hoping,
Xanathar.
but I think the Red Wizards.
D&D.
We'll talk about the villain.
Xanathar.
Yes, the Beholder. He has a
Learn about the boisterous beholder. Beneath the
yes.
city of Waterdeep, a beholder crime lord keeps tabs on everyone and everything. Or so the beholder believes. Known as Xanathar, the leader of Xanathar's Thieves Guild, believes it can gather information on everything in the multiverse. Whoa. With an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, a taste for gold, and a general disdain for most living things, it's surprising to learn that Xanathar's most prized possession is its goldfish, Silgar. Oh my goodness! He's an eyeball!
Yeah, yeah, that's what a
He's
beholder
like
is. They're
Mike Wazowski.
By the way, every single beholder is a paranoid schizophrenic, except when they dream, their dreams become real.
Oh,
So, which means that they can literally make monsters because they're just so scared of them. That's why he's like
wow.
looking after everything because he's paranoid.
Hmm.
Anyway, they're a very old D&D villain, and everyone loves Sanathar. Because I mean, who
I love
doesn't?
how he loves his
Yeah,
goldfish.
that's like it's such a cool detail.
Yeah,
I
in the
heard
picture you can see his goldfish in the back.
I heard of a D&D party of new players that was playing Waterdeep Heist, which by the way they name dropped Waterdeep in the movie.
Oh, did they?
Some of the nobles were from Waterdeep,
Oh.
and they killed the goldfish. And the DM's
Oh, did they
like,
all
"Oh,
die?
yes, the DM killed them all with Xanathar in his rage and grief. They were dead." I love the reaction was he stopped the story there, and then the next post was they did not kill the goldfish like 10 times or something like that. It was like a green text. And I'm like,
Oh my goodness. Apparently, unbeknownst to Xanathar, the fish has died and been replaced by the members of Guild multiple times.
yeah, because every time Silgar dies, they freak out because they don't want him to know
That's fair.
because he'll just go crazy.
That's fair. That's hilarious. Okay. I mean,
Anyway,
I'd be game for that, to be honest.
yes. So we discussed the intro when it comes to world building. I do want to discuss the villain later, and we kind of discussed some world building mistakes. This is already a built world, so I guess
Yeah.
this is kind of as in the Forgotten Realms has been around for a while. I just wonder what's canon and what's not. I don't think that they care. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't
so
know.
we get introduced to a character that isn't our main character. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know you're big on that.
Yeah, I am big on introducing your main character first. I
Like
am very big
legitimately,
on that.
I'm writing a short story, and I had this guy walk into like the House of Learning, and he gets directed over to our main character, and then gives him the offer that sets up the plot, and she was criticizing me for that.
Yeah. I mean, because then the first character, it is psychological. The first character we are introduced to, we are automatically going to root for them. And suddenly we have to try to transfer over to this other person. Even take Sherlock Holmes, which I just read the
The
Hound
Hounds
of
of
the
Baskerville.
Baskervilles.
Did you notice that he had Watson read a novel and then be like, the plot in this isn't as good as what's really happening?
No.
Yeah, he had Watson do that. I'm like,
What do you
okay.
mean he had read a
Like
novel?
he read a Yellowback. He literally says that I was reading a Yellowback novel, but I couldn't interest myself in the contents because of what was happening was so interesting. Something along those lines.
Oh, I did not pick up on that. I just read it like
No, it got it was like mentioned briefly, so it's not
Oh,
like they
I
made a
think I
big
would have
deal.
picked up and laughed on that though, and I gotta go
Mm,
back and read
okay,
skim
I'm
it
90% sure it
because
was Hounds of Baskervilles, but
it may have been a
You
different
know
one.
what? If you have a PDF of them, which you probably can find, just Control F and yellow backed.
Yellow backed.
Because I
Because I don't
remember it
remember
saying it
ever
was
seeing that
or the
word.
word
So
novel. I think it
novel,
was
yeah.
Yellowback novel. But anyway, my
I'll have
point
to look.
is, I do remember it being an Arthur Conan Doyle story, and I'm like,
Yeah,
really
no,
now?
there is.
Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back, my dude.
That's literally him this whole time. Like, he's like, before I even came out, I knew it was him, and I'm like, oh, did you now?
Anyway, get on with the
My
intro.
point is, in A Study in Scarlet, we get introduced to Dr. Watson first. And throughout the whole Hounds of the Baskervilles, we are focused on Dr. Watson because that's what it's about. We get to see Sherlock Holmes from an outside perspective. We don't really want him in first person. Wouldn't be good.
No, no,
So,
it would be extreme chaos.
yes. And you'd be like, So, we have Dr. Watson, and we don't get introduced to, like, oh, the really cool guy or whatever. We get introduced to Dr. Watson first because that's who we're attached to, and that's who we care about. We do care about Sherlock Holmes, but we care about Dr. Watson more because that's who we're first attached to.
Yeah.
And so it's important not to let another character lead you to your main character because you get confused, and it takes a while to get back into the flow of the story. And that's what happened in this. Is that we have this ugly dude, and I'm like, that's not in the trailer.
Yeah, that's my thought. I'm like, wait. And I love Orcs, so I was mad that they turned him into a lecherous creep.
What? Who is he?
He was
I don't know
flirting.
who he is.
The ugly dude.
Yeah, who is he?
Some random dude. I just like Orcs.
Oh, he's an orc.
He looked like an orc to me.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm a huge orc fan. They're the greatest.
I know you are.
Yes.
I'm not.
You're allowed to
My
not.
cousin's also an orc fan.
You're allowed to be
I'm
wrong.
more of an elf person.
You're allowed to be
No.
wrong. You filthy
I'm
knife
not
here.
wrong.
Can I be racist on my own show? It's my own show.
Can we be racist against fictional characters?
I don't know. We might
And
get
fictional
canceled.
races? I'm against being racist against elves, but also they're a little racist towards dwarves. So.
Dwarves are better than elves. Yes. Yes.
I mean, I could see that. But also, literally, they are the firstborn. So.
The elves are.
And you never see a dwarf marrying a mare, do you?
A what?
A mare?
Well,
like
yeah, because they don't need
Gandalf
to.
and Belrogs.
Look. They
No,
don't.
yeah, you have
No, I
Who
actually
is
do
no?
have. They don't have to compensate for things.
Yeah,
They're
they
secure in their awesomeness. They don't have to go with marrying random spirits in order to prove that they're awesome.
Well, it's not to prove that they're awesome. It's because they are awesome.
Nope, they have a
But because they're not as awesome, therefore.
All I'm saying is, in Rings of Power, the dwarves were the best part.
Look, we're not talking about fan fiction here. We're talking about actual.
It's official. You can't cope. It's official. It's canon. Dwarves are better.
No.
Look,
No.
my entire point was that the dwarves are so awesome. Not even Rings of Power can fully ruin them. They ruined everything else. And to be fair, the dwarves aren't very good, but they're still the best.
That may be so. I didn't get past the first episode. I was crying
They
too
weren't.
hard.
They weren't very good. They were just the best. That's not saying much.
Oh.
Mainly because Dwalin could. I think his name was Dwalin. Was it Dwalin or Durin?
Durin?
I don't know.
Durin's the first of the 7.
Anyway, my point is the dwarf and his wife, they could actually act.
Ooh, that is a plus.
That is, and that. What's her point? Oh yeah, my whole point is they just had him to like be a lecherous weirdo, and then to have her stick it to the man randomly.
Yeah. That introduced, like, we talked about how they're introduced. So I didn't think Chris Pine's introduction was too terrible. He's introduced as like a wisecracking guy. Okay.
Yeah.
That's who he is kind of throughout the movie. Holga's introduced as a girl that would just beat people up. Like, I mean, yeah, she had a reason, but like, yeah, but then also, like, later she's like friends with his daughter. and everything, and like you're like, I didn't realize she had this side of her, because that's not how we are introduced. So how a character is introduced is also very important in the things that they do. And so Chris Pine's introduction wasn't terrible because, yeah, he's wisecracking, whatever. But hers wasn't a fan of. Yeah. I just didn't feel it. Because I feel like she was out of character for the rest of the movie almost.
I don't think she had a character. I feel like they just said, please act like stereotypical girl boss barbarian.
That's fair.
I feel like the Tiefling had more of a consistent character. And you know what I think about the Tiefling? I think she was a strong feminine character.
I will say yes.
The
I can agree with
like,
you.
okay, let's say I replaced her with John Cena, like the barbarian. I replaced the barbarian with John Cena. Like John Cena is now playing her. I replaced the gnome guy with some random short girl in Hollywood, and I didn't change a line of dialogue beyond pronouns. What would change? Like, what's
John Cena
weird?
would be a creep to Chris Pine's daughter, but that's
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, like pretty much the whole bug line makes no sense now, but that's
Mm-hmm.
literally it, and that's my point. Meanwhile, if I change the Tiefling character to a man and like I change nothing but pronouns, suddenly that's a really bad, wacky character.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Because I feel like who she was played into the fact that she was a woman.
Yeah,
And so she played to her strengths.
I don't even think that she's like a really girly character. I'm just saying she was a girl.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I enjoyed her. I thought how she used the animals was really cool. Personally, how she switched back and forth. And the deer line, they played that off. There, that was the rule of three right there.
Yeah, that
With the
was.
deer, which was funny. It made it funny.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I kind of really like that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, wasn't the greatest introduction.
No, I didn't like them. Okay, so let's move on with introductions. Oh wait, no, we gotta talk about the Jonathan.
We're not. That's not that. That wasn't part of. We're not there yet.
Yeah,
Because
but
he has
we're.
to tell his whole backstory.
Oh yeah, he does tell his whole backstory, but I don't feel
He
like.
does say no, but
Like it's a
okay,
like it's okay, whatever.
okay.
What do you think?
So he gets called up after like another year. They've been in there for 2 years, and there's like the council or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, let's wait for Jonathan." And he keeps interrupting his backstory. Let's wait for Jonathan. At one point, I thought it was funny. He like went back in his storytelling to stall and retell part. And they're like,
Yeah,
"No,
they're
you're
like,
stalling."
we've already heard this. Get on with it.
I thought that was kind of funny how they kind of used that. I also, I mean, I understand when they're trying to tell his backstory, but also it felt a little cringe to me.
I
But
think it was. I mean, it could needed a rewrite, but I think it was hidden by the facts. I think it was. I think it was covered by the fact that this was in universe and made sense in universe.
say that again because you went away from the mic or something.
Oh, I actually didn't, unless I'm on the wrong mic.
No, now you're good.
Okay, that's weird. Um, anyway, my point was it was in universe, and
Yeah.
so
Well,
I think it's
I think
better.
that was okay and such. Um, I thought his
I'm
humor
saying
kind of
it's
lightened the
better.
mood
Yeah,
more.
it kind of lightened the mood. Oh, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay, and I guess, and we did need the backstory to get caught up at some point because things had
I
happened. I
I
don't
think
know if
it
you
I
can.
I just think it needed a rewrite. That's it.
Yeah, and then Let me see what I got. Yeah, I kind of lost the Red Wizard's backstory in the theater, but
Her backstory was that she asked them to do a job. She got
no,
it.
no, no, no. Oh, well, yeah, but you know what this reminded me of with Forge and everything
What?
is that it reminded me of the Italian Job,
Yeah, it
except
kind
no
of
one
did.
died, but it
It
gave me like Italian Jobs. Yeah,
vibes.
yeah, give me Italian Job vibes. So. Oh, I also have this line. Everything changed when we met the wizard. And then it shows her and such.
Huh.
I don't know. I wrote down a lot of the lines. I thought his lines were funny. I have wizard killed people and not happy. I don't know what that was in reference to. Anyway, so they got trapped and he couldn't get the Tablet of Awakening, the time spell. Simon
Yes.
couldn't counteract it and ran away. And then Forge also was able to grab the tablet and get away. And he was gonna go grab Kira. And then only the Barbarian and Chris Pine got put in prison.
Yes.
So and then he's like, the greatest crime here is committed by you. You are robbing my daughter of her father. I thought that was funny. I'm like, all right, buddy.
Yeah, he
So he's
did. He
saying
did.
all this.
He did have a few good
Yeah.
lines.
He did have some good lines. And then they're saying all this, and then Jonathan comes in and he's a bird. And he's like,
Yeah.
Jonathan! And he
He's
goes
an
to hug him.
Aarakocra.
He's whatever. And they grab him.
Aarakocra. Come on, get it right, you racist.
Eric Crocker, sorry. And then, like, at one point, one of the guards, when somebody's like, she's throwing potatoes, and she started throwing potatoes, they grabbed onto Jonathan, jumped out the window, flew down, and then just left him and walked away, which later at the very end we see that he survived. But
Yes.
the poor guy.
Yeah, poor Jonathan.
And he was
Okay,
like,
I'll be
fly,
honest,
bird,
that
fly!
was. I thought he was like their double agent or something. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. I thought he was something else, so.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that was really funny.
I did write down leave bird to die, but then later at the end they didn't, so that made me happy.
They kind of did, and he's just laying there like, what in the world?
He's like, what happened? It's
I don't blame him.
The poor guy just came late. And then at the end, like, as they're leaving, they had accepted his petition anyway.
Yeah, they're like, but we accepted your bond. That was so funny.
Yeah.
That was
That was
so
grand.
good.
Like, they're gonna accept it.
I assume that's why they didn't bother chasing after them.
Yeah.
Because, like, why bother? They've already accepted their pardon. It's not worth,
Right.
the resources.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe Jonathan wouldn't prosecute them or whatever.
I feel like Jonathan's a chill dude.
I feel like he is. The bird.
I feel like Jonathan
That
is a
is.
chill dude.
I feel like he is.
Yes.
So, then...
But Simon and B-Man are still way better. Like it's no comparison. I just want to let you guys know that like I think he's chill. Like I'd go, have a drink with him. Yeah, a non-alcoholic drink with, by the way, because after all, actually no, we're in the middle of the mountains. Maybe I do need a little bit of brandy to warm myself up.
What did I just...
That was funnier in my head. I
reading...
just want to let you know this was funnier in my head.
Oh, yeah. I just saw the Hounds of the Baskervilles where after he got frightened by the hound, Sir Henry Baskerville, he's like laying there and they're like, can you stand? He's like, oh, maybe after a little bit more brandy.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just like feeding this poor guy brandy. He's like, here you go. Some more? Okay, here you go.
He just wanted brandy. I don't blame him. I mean, he's just been scared half to death. You might as well get a little bit of brandy out of it.
It reminded me of Little Britches when he would purposely make himself cold so that he could get brandy.
You remember later in the book he asked for brandy and they're like, nope, whiskey.
Oh, I remember that. Oh dear. Anyway, yes. So Jonathan's a cool dude. Do you think Bean Guy beats him though?
What, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Very much, very much.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I mean, Bean Guy does carry a very big gun. And he eats beans.
Like Bean Guy is the absolute greatest. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I think maybe Simon is like can be the only one that's slightly comparable.
Now, the only problem though is that Simon got more time to become who he was, whereas Bean Guy didn't get as much time. And he still is as awesome as Simon. So would he be better had he gotten more time and less of what's her face, Captain Marvel lady?
That is true. You know what? You know who should have been the love interest in that? Bean Guy. I would.
I would watch that, except it'd be kind of weird because Tom Hiddleston is the other person.
No one cared about Tom Hiddleston. I'm not talking about the love interest with Tom Hiddleston. I'm saying the love interest
of the gorilla.
With the gorilla.
With the monkey.
Yeah, with the monkey. Him and the monkey become best pals, and then they
best pals. Oh,
yeah, they become.
And the monkey saves him.
Yes. Anyway, I'm just saying this is way, way better than the movie that they had. That's it. Okay. Whoever made, was it Universal?
I have no idea.
Anyway, whoever made King Kong, call us. We have your next King Kong movie, all about Bean Guy and King Kong being buddies.
Yes, being buddies, killing weird animals. Yeah. I'm game for that. I'd watch the heck out of that movie.
Yes, I would. Just killing monsters with the amazingness that is Bean Guy. I wish that they pursued the theme that he presented more.
What theme? I don't remember.
The idea of making your own enemy. You know, like sometimes the enemy isn't there unless you go looking for him, because he had some of the best dialogue.
He did. And then they're just like, well, he's dead now for literally no reason, because he didn't even do anything.
Yeah, very sad. Anyway, but I just want to say that it's blasphemy to like as great as like I like Jonathan, but he's not comparable.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, you know what I would do if I was writing a D&D movie? I'd generate every single character's name with a fantasy name generator.
Yeah. That's what I do.
That'd be so funny.
I mean, yeah, I got confused because, his name was your name, so I...
Yeah, I'm like,
I got confused.
In the movie!
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's in the movie. Yay! But you weren't. You're not a giant bird. Or
yeah.
Azerbaijan, whatever he was. Anyway, so they need to go find Kira. So they go, and lo and behold, Kira's gone.
Oh, yeah.
The daughter. I knew her name.
I don't remember her name.
And turns out Forge took her in. And now he's Lord...
So let's discuss he was the lord of a city, but it's not important.
Neverwinter.
Yes, Neverwinter. But my point is, what did you think of him? Because they had two villains.
Yes.
They had him, and then he was kind of a betrayal. He's like, why would you trust a con man?
Yeah, that's fair.
To be fair, why would you? And second, the red wizard. But what did you think of him as a villain?
As a villain, I thought it was good, because he turned Kira against her father and the rest of them. And so,
except I feel like the whole turn against thing wasn't the process of doing it seemed natural. And seemed believable, except the process of getting her out didn't.
Yeah, process of getting her out, it was just because she's going like, oh, okay then. And then it was like it all happened so quickly, and then suddenly she just decided that she loved her dad now.
Yeah, if they done
because
that
she
better, it would
he
have been really good. Like there was some good
because he
drama in
literally
there.
said the exact same words they did in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like the okay. So let's divide this in half. The beginning part was excellent. I have no critiques. Especially
Wow.
since he. No, I'm serious. Like the beginning, like the whole manipulation and all that.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like I have no
Yeah, yeah,
critiques
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I thought he artfully manipulated her, and it was believable.
And as far as he was concerned, like, and it was kind of cool how he got like a little bit of thing, and that it seemed like he did genuinely care about her. Except it was
Yeah.
more of like a selfish caring, as in he
Yeah,
did
because
want
like well, like you
like
said,
he wants what was best for her, but he wanted him to be the one to give it.
yeah. Yeah, it was a self-caring, and he kind of had the whole line about, I can mold someone in my own image. Oh,
Okay, I
I'm
think
like a god, a lord and a god. I'm having a good day today.
okay, as much as I think uh as much as I think that line was funny, oh God and Lord, I'm having a good day today. I really think they shouldn't have done that whole thing because that kind of undermined his character in my opinion.
In what ways?
In that it made him more of a selfish jerk, if you get what I'm saying. Instead, they'd
Mm.
say, like basically make it a bit more selfish, like make a comment about, like, and you can see the way you do things just results in nothing or something like that. Meanwhile, see all I've accomplished. I'll train her up good so that she will follow in my ways and she will be happy for the rest of her days, something like that.
Yeah.
So
So he
the
does want the best for her, but in his own way, and he doesn't want other people to
yes,
give it to her.
because I feel like his character, when it comes to this, is really good. Like it's more of a I don't want to say a weaker villain, if you get what I'm saying, but like a more
Yeah, it's not
sympathetic
like
villain, like a more sympathetic villain.
yeah, yeah. It's not quite weaker, but it is not as strong as the red wizard.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Red Wizard's motivations were extremely weak, so which is fine,
Okay,
you
that is
know.
true. I couldn't hear what her motivations were, so
Her motivation was she wanted to be evil. That's what I got.
okay, that's the vibes I got. So yeah,
But which I think that's fine because if he had like his strong motivations could have carried it.
yeah,
So I think they should have just like changed that line and that intro part would have been literally perfect.
yeah. I think it would. Yeah, because even like you could tell the way that Kira greeted them. First of all, she ran to Holga first, and then she was hesitant about
Oh,
hugging
that
her
was
father.
really that was really subtle and very nice. That reminded me.
I
Do you remember when you know his name, right?
no, which what's his
Um
name?
that was separated from his mother and then he went to hide his grandfather and he went to go hug his grandfather and his aunt first and then just ignored his mom and then his mom had to ask for a hug.
In what was this from?
I'm trying not to say his name because I think is he in jail for killing a
Oh, is
person?
this? Oh, oh, I didn't actually know about that story.
Okay.
To be
Well,
honest,
well anyway,
he's
my
not in
point
jail
is that's
yet.
what it reminded me with it about. You get
Oh,
my
okay.
point?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
clear he didn't really like it and that was really subtle and very nice.
yeah. I did. I noticed that because
I
I was like,
did.
ah,
I did and I'm like, "Oh, interesting."
yeah. And they had that one line about her pendant just to show that she had it still.
Yes, they didn't say what that did though. But if you
No,
notice,
I'm
did
just
you
not sure how it
notice?
works.
Did you notice they showed her getting it in the backstory?
Yes, I did see that, and I was like, okay, oh cool, she's invisible. Oh cool, well they'll probably use that later, and they did.
Yeah.
They showed her using it, and then they had another line, which I don't know why they needed that line.
You still have your pendant? Well, okay, let's be honest. We're talking about the lowest common denominator here.
Yeah. But anyway, what was it? There's a. Oh wait. Um. No, I thought there was a rule of three with that, but I don't think there was. Well, she was talking. Yeah. I just thought it was good how they introduced kind of that. You're like, something's not quite right, but it was very subtle. And they're kind of. Yeah. And then, also, then she calls him Uncle Forge. Everyone's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
Uncle?
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
And
Here's
then,
a question though, because I feel like this is a danger anytime you introduce an older man and a prepubescent woman girl in this day and age. Was it creepy?
I didn't actually feel that it was creepy.
Yeah, it didn't feel creepy to me.
Even when he went and had like one-on-one time with her, it didn't feel creepy to me.
Yeah, or even when he was forcibly grabbing her to the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't even feel. Yeah, I never got creepy vibes from him. That's true.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring him up because again, I think the character work on him was excellent.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think he had good motivations, and he followed his motivations to the end.
Yeah.
You know.
What? Oh yeah, he went to prison. Very very sad.
Yeah, and apparently that was, I don't know. Yeah, and then Jonathan
We'll get to it. Okay.
again.
So again, let's discuss the last part because I want to do a I guess we're gonna try some we're trying something different. The last part of his character. What did you think of that?
When he left and then
Like,
wanted all the monies.
no, I mean, as in, because we're discussing specifically the manipulation being torn down.
Oh. So first of all, Kira believed her father and Holga. And then when she started to leave, he wanted to keep her and also he wanted his money. So
Yeah,
then he turned against her essentially.
yeah, I think
Um
they they could have done that way better. Like it just was bland. I just feel like they gave up.
yeah, I feel like they kind of did. They're like, "Oh, we'll say the exact same thing and show that he lied once."
Yes.
And then to be honest, he didn't even try to defend the fact that he lied.
No,
Like he didn't try to keep her.
at
You
least
know, he
yeah. Like come on, people.
he didn't try to defend it. He was just like, "I guess I'll kill you now."
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Mhm. How do you think they could have done that better?
Well, for one, I think what they should have done is just have it basically he builds up a pyramid and it comes crumbling down. Let him slip that he tried to have her father killed,
Okay.
which would be a big thing. And then
Yeah.
number two, I don't have him grab her. That's wacky as all get out.
Yeah, and then threatened to murder her.
Yeah, yeah, that is a completely against her character or his
Yeah, I thought it
character.
was. Yeah.
It just
He
felt like
also
they
doesn't
gave
really like
up.
to do. He doesn't really. I mean,
Next,
you never
have
get
him
from him that
try
he
and
likes to do
like
the
do
dirty
it.
work.
Have him try and do it back until he's like defeated by the reveal of the tablet, and like he pulls it out and says, "What is this? What is this?" And he like tries to lie through it. And he is like, "I was going to resurrect your mother. Is this not true?" And like have Simon there, threatening and be like, "It's not true," and he has to admit it's true. And then he turns and he says, and he just admits that all he wanted to do was take care of her and raise her and that he really did, and
Yeah.
that he really did like her, but and just
Hmm.
just have him outmaneuvered and his pyramid come crumbling down.
Yeah, because if you notice, he's not the one that kind of does dirty work, and so you put him down to doing the dirty work. When in reality, his strength is being a con man. Have him be
Exactly.
out conned.
Exactly. Exactly. Or even better, like have him be hit at his weaknesses, you know?
Yeah. The beginning of his character was good and the manipulation and such, but
Yeah,
then
they
the
could have done
end
the last
could have been
part
a bit
better.
better. Um, but
Anyway.
yeah.
So let's discuss Simon.
Um, yeah, so let's discuss his introduction.
So his
What did you think of his
introduction is he comes
introduction?
out, kisses his magnificent abs, sheds 5 women.
No! Oh my word.
What? Wait, what version did you watch?
Not that one, apparently.
But that's what happened.
So it starts with them. They're like, "Oh, we need a wizard." They're like, Simon wasn't very good wizard when he had him. Like, well, it's been 10 years.
Maybe he
Oh,
got better.
it should have been only 2 years though.
Yeah, it
But they
should have.
said
I don't know
10.
what. Maybe. Are you sure you heard that? 'Cause you're right. It should have been 2 years. Maybe it was an error.
Maybe he's like, it's been 2 years. Because 10 years makes more sense. But like 2 years, you don't have to get that great. He's like, it's been 2 years. He should have gotten better. And then it opens to him doing this cringe magic show.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny again, and it showed that no, he hasn't.
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
tell.
It kind of it directly showed the fact that he hasn't gotten better. You know, and even without like knowing D&D lore, I still got the idea that that grass scent that he did,
Was just a minor thing.
it was just minor. Yeah, but I enjoyed the fact that he's still a thief because you
I'll be
saw he
that
was
was
stealing people's stuff.
dude. He was gonna get away with that too. That was clever.
Yeah, I thought that was like you show he's clever. He's just not very good.
Yeah, I really like that plan. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Uh huh. I enjoyed that part about him very much. And then he was foiled because he was like, "What? What are
Yeah,
y'all
he
doing
got
here?"
startled. He lost concentration, by the way, is the D&D term. Some
Oh,
spells require concentration, so
oh. And then he had to get away from all these people, so he does this gravity spell, which he just pulls out of his pocket. It looked like. I don't know what he was doing. It looked like he just pulled something out of his pocket.
well, I assume he just had the spell prepared.
I just don't know how G&D works, so.
That's fine. I don't remember this, so let me check
Oh,
my
well, he
notes.
just like.
Red Wizard. I just got a line. Oh, I don't think you've heard of it, but I'm sure Jonathan has. We can wait for him.
Oh,
The Tablet
yeah.
of Reawakening.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Jonathan has, so we can wait for him. The amount of time he stalled for Jonathan was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so clever. Like, just, like... I thought it was
Baldur's Gate. I know you don't like hugs, but I need one. Oh, I don't have anything about that written. Oh wait, let's see.
Oh, yeah. What was that? Was that Forge?
I don't re- I don't remember. Okay. Anyway, so they go and he's like, we need a druid, right?
Wait, we haven't finished Simon's. And if
Oh.
we're gonna do it, we gotta...
You're right.
We either finish Simon's or we start back where we were.
No, we're going with Simon. We're continuing with we're discussing his character. So basically,
Okay.
the way his character changed, and his arc is set up from the very beginning, and it's not set up like banging it over the head.
Did they set it up before the druid?
Yeah, because the whole he's I hope he's gotten better after these 2 years, as in his character arc is
Oh.
to get better, to
Mm-hmm.
realize what's keeping him, because something's holding him back,
Right.
So they set up that very nicely and not exactly the most subtly. So
Also, they randomly mentioned wild magic.
yeah. That's a class
Oh,
of
he randomly
sorcerer Basically, whenever you cast a spell, you roll a d20, and if you get a certain and you get a certain thing on it, then you then roll on the wild magic table, and it does like a random magic effect.
Hmm. Interesting. I wish they would have done that more, but
Yeah, I think they could have done that. I mean, I can see why I can see why they didn't, because it seems kind of random to the audience. They're like, oh, because it either hinders the plot, and then we're like, that's nonsense, or it's nothing, and then we're just like, that distracts from the plot, or they're like, or it
yeah,
helps the plot, and then we're like, that's bull, right?
yeah.
As
I feel
in,
like in general, though, they just didn't really use all of their classes to the fullest extent.
no, they didn't. The sorcerer and the druid did it the best, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think so.
Me, but for him, they really just should have not made him a wild magic sorcerer. Just make him a different kind of sorcerer,
Right. Yeah, I think that would have
and
been
that
better.
like solves your problems.
Right. So then they need a druid, and so he's like, "Oh, I used to court one."
No, 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 I want to get done
And
with his character.
oh, okay.
I want to
Well, that's
discuss
what
his
they're
entire
talking
arc.
about.
Yeah, but I want to discuss. We're going through the characters and discussing their arcs.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, fine.
Okay, and I
So,
was saying,
hmm.
so then we need to discuss the helmet because we only have like half an hour, by the way. So with the helmet, he gets the helmet and he can't put it on, right? And it's his
Well,
old
yeah.
ancestor, which, by the way, they very nicely set up in a way that makes sense. In a way that makes sense that the way sorcerers work is they have like an ancient magical bloodline because they showed the person
Oh,
who started the magical bloodline,
yeah.
and
Right.
yeah, that was again very nice. I liked that. And the whole, okay, so what do you think of the conflict with his magical ancestor, like stopping him from attuning with the artifact?
Um, I thought it was good. I mean, it's just like your grandpa to tell you you're not good enough and you need to do better.
My
And
grandfather did
then,
that to me all the time.
and see, aren't you a better person for it?
Yes, yes, I was. I am now. In fact, I can attune to an artifact first time now.
Oh, wow. Look at you go. I thought, honestly, because we set up the fact that, I mean, he even said it. He's like, she dumped me um, because I didn't have enough self-esteem or whatever.
Oh
There's a
yeah, you're
problem with,
right. That was
that's
like
what I was trying to mention.
that's you're right. I didn't think of that. I'm sorry. But that was very much I mean I didn't notice that, but that continues to set up his arc. It's also legitimate.
Yeah,
In
I mean,
in
it is. I
fact,
mean, you would,
I'm talking with
yeah.
a woman right now that's talking about how she'd break up with a guy if he wasn't assertive enough. By
Yeah.
talking to, I don't mean like I'm trying to date her. I'm very happily married. I'm helping her date a guy.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, but that can. I'm saying that this is something that it's reasonable for a woman to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Especially her because she doesn't like humans. So she has to like make sure you're a really good human or whatever. So he kind of already had a negative when he first met her, but my point is, what was my point? My
My
point is that they gave a physical representation of him overcoming his problems.
Yeah, and it fit within the plot.
Yeah, it fit within the plot. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. He like when he over with the helmet and he could use it. I was like, yes. And it it made me, I rooted for him. I was like, yes, dude, you got this. So I I thought he was good, and I thought having his grandfather, he kind of had to confront people in his past who put him down or whatever, and then
He
when he
had to
slapped him.
confront because here I'll explain it because I thought that this was
Okay.
really good.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that because he kind of had a low self-esteem? Because I want you to imagine you became a sorcerer and it's just because of your bloodline, right? And then there's these other people who like know cool magic, but like they had to work for it. It gives you
Right.
a bit of a self-esteem issue because like what did you do to earn it, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and the physical representation of that is, the person who started the magical bloodline.
Mmm. That's true.
As in, he had to, as in that was the source of him not having, self-esteem. So he had to defeat this
The very source. Yeah.
exactly. So I thought that that was very well done.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was really good. I thought it gave us, it kind of showed us the physical fight on the outside, but he had an internal fight that he won. And
And then, it was
yeah.
relevant to the plot.
Yeah, and it was relevant to the plot. And the whole plan A, B, C, D.
That was funny.
Hmm. Anyway, so yeah, and then at the end, he got the girl because she knew that first of all, he had the guts to ask her.
Yeah,
Second of all,
the guts. You notice though they
yeah,
use the phrase courting, right?
yeah,
Which is very interesting because from the way it seemed, I think he wanted to marry her.
yeah, I got that vibe too. Which is, it makes sense in a D&D, but it's interesting in a modern film.
Yeah,
Usually people just
it
want to
does. I just
date.
wasn't expecting them because, and it just seemed normal, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, it didn't. I liked it. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, it
I
was
think they're
actually
super
pretty cute.
cute. Yeah, it was. It made me happy for him. I'm like, oh, he got everything he wanted in the end.
And he earned it.
Yeah, he did. He went through some, you know, he earned it. So, yeah,
I
probably
okay,
favorite
so
character.
yeah, he was my favorite character overall. So he had a good character arc. Yeah, he
Yeah,
learned
I enjoyed his
to
character arc.
assert himself, and for doing that, he was able to get control of the magic.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
the Tiefling. What did she even have a character arc?
I was very vaguely like, oh, she has to get over her not liking humans because they killed all her family. And then at the end, he's like, oh, you don't want to leave us because we're humans? And she's like, not all humans are bad.
That's kind of that's funny because she was hanging out with other humans and previously did go out
Well, she
with
was
them.
hanging out with elves.
I thought there was some
She,
humans there.
oh, I thought she was just adopted by wood elves. And yeah, she did go out with him. That's why it kind of confused me. Because, like, I thought she really didn't like humans, but then she goes out with him maybe because he's a sorcerer. She thought he was different, but then he wasn't or something. I don't know. But that's kind of was her arc, which I'm not really sure. I'm
And
trying to pick
I
a spot
don't
where she overcame her human prejudice.
I don't think she did, and I don't think she needed to.
Yeah, so she didn't, but you don't have to have like
Not
character
everyone
arcs
needs
for
a
every
character arc.
single character. Holga didn't really have a character arc. Um,
Yeah, anyway, I liked her character, and I thought, I mean, the crack about racism I detected kind of because I'm like, oh, this is going to be like really annoying if you get what I'm saying, but they didn't actually make it annoying.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't make it more annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting it.
And by the way, tieflings are like devil children.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
she's kind of a demon in the lore.
That's hence the horns.
Hence the horns. Some of them are red, by the way.
Mm, that's funny. I didn't know that, but okay. So, yeah, I enjoyed her character though. She was third favorite character, I think.
Yeah. Wait, who was your second?
Zenk.
Oh yeah, Zank. I don't even
I
think
really
he
liked
just
him.
showed up, was cool, and left. Like
I
there's
know.
nothing
He
much for
was
us to
really
say.
cool. Yeah, well, and then he showed up and he's like, "Ah, you're gonna have a better character at the end."
Maybe.
And he said all this really cool dialogue, which I wrote some of it down.
Okay, tell us his lines.
Let me see. Oh, because they're talking about the Underrealm or whatever.
Yes.
And what's the wizard's name? The sorcerer's name?
Simon.
It's not Simon. Simon's like, that sounds lovely, and he's like, no, it is not. He's like, that was irony. He's like, I find irony as a blade who cuts he who wields it most especially.
Yeah, that
And
was
I'm just like, okay.
that was actually pretty funny. I did enjoy that.
Yeah. And it is no simple feat to kill that which is already dead. I'm like, okay.
Okay, I legitimately though do think that the whole he kills them all and then they just raise from the dead. I'm like, oh, so this was pointless.
Yeah, that was just like, oh, you just want to show off he's super duper cool. I think those were the only two I wrote down. But, oh, when he walks away, that cracked me up. Like, oh, he's walking in such a straight line. No, he's gonna hit a rock. Is he gonna go? Nope, he's gonna go over it.
Yeah.
Like,
I expected that to happen, and I don't know why, but I still thought that was funny.
I expected it too, but it cracked me up. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Just in general, his character, I found it really funny, and I liked the way he talked. I thought it was almost kind of like stereotypical NPC in a D&D.
Okay, maybe like a DM NPC.
Yeah, like a DM NPC or something. So it kind of made it more funny. But so what do you think about the barbarian's character?
Trash. Move on. I don't want to talk about it.
All right, what do you think about Chris Pine?
They should have made him. Let's see. More of a bard. He did the bard stuff once.
Yes. When?
What do you mean?
He just went around and hit people with his lute.
He didn't play it. He didn't
stuff.
do a single he didn't cast a single bard spell.
No. The one time I was like, oh, maybe he's casting the bard spell. Nope, it was the sorcerer.
Like, come on, could you please have him finish things off with have him cast cutting mockery or something.
Yeah. Instead, it was the tiefling who just straight up murdered her.
And yeah, there's things. There's legitimately so many creative ways he could have had to do it. He could have been the one doing minor illusion. Instead, I think it was Simon.
Yeah. It was Simon. And for some reason, Simon got his foot stuck, and so he messed up on the spell.
Yeah, because he lost concentration.
Oh. The way that the spell messed up, though, was really weird.
Yeah, again, it would have been better if he'd just been the one who did it, who had it done and then messed it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about, because do you remember when they went and then and he was talking to Kira and turns out Kira was the red wizard for some reason?
Yes.
So, and he said, I'm sorry, I was trying to bring back my wife when I should have been trying to bring back your mom.
As in he was focusing more on, on his desires than her own.
But you see what they did.
And then they
They made the
had
barbarian her mom.
and yeah.
And so he chose
Even
to bring
though
back her
when was
mom,
she
not
mom?
his wife.
Besides her like referring to her in endearing terms, when was the barbarian her mom?
That's the thing. Like, she's a barbarian. She's not particularly.
I mean, barbarians can be like nice and friendly and motherly and all that, but her character just
But
wasn't.
yeah, her character wasn't. They didn't set it up to be that way, and the times, it just.
So it
Yeah,
it
I
was
just thought it was a
unearned.
weak mother. Yeah, it was unearned. I thought. What do you think of the concept, though?
The concept, I mean,
Yeah. Do you think it could have been pulled off?
I don't know. I mean, a good writer can pull off a surprising amount of things.
Hmm.
I mean, if you told me a Shrek spin-off sequel would be movie of the year, I wouldn't have believed you. So
Well, that's fair. But that was a good movie.
it was way too good. I love it so much.
I love that movie.
Like I mean, we in our experience, we've watched movies and we're like, oh, that was better than it had any right to be. I mean, you probably like Battleship more than anyone else, like more than it deserves, because like, if you get what
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
saying,
do. But he is such a good character. I
yeah.
love his character
All
arc.
we need to do is just ignore the bad that like the girl.
Yeah, ignore the girl. You know, just like The Hobbit has an edit, we should edit
If you're
Battleship.
gonna make a battleship, we'll
Yeah.
put it up on our Patreon.
The Battleship edit. If you guys want it,
The
let us
the
know.
based bat. We'll call it the
I'll
based
do it.
edit.
The base Battleship edit.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
it. Oh dear. So,
Anyway, so his character, I didn't like his
yeah.
character arc a lot, but that's because he was a lot. It was intertwined with the barbarian, and I don't like her.
Yeah, feel like the barbarian was the weak part.
And the
And
whole
also he was like,
episode with her ex-husband did not help the plot. Besides, give them the portal staff.
yeah, which to me felt a little cop outish.
Yeah, it did. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it was just like, I guess I'll look for rope, and then she pulls out the portal gun, and they're like, "What's that? Oh, it's a portal gun. Oh, it was yeah."
what did you think though of how they used the portal gun?
In which way?
Like
Oh,
they
when they put the painting in.
just like the ways they were using it. Like I thought it was really
Okay,
creative, right?
I thought it was super creative how they had like with the painting and everything. I thought that was super whack, honestly. Like then they would nail the boards down in the portal, flip it over, and I just it kind of almost broke my mind how they were doing it. It was, I don't know. I thought it was really creative, and I enjoyed the whole thing with the painting, how they were trying to put it in and everything. And then I felt like it was kind of a whoops, it fell down on its face. It was kind of a
They
the
did
writer.
manage to use it though.
They did manage to use it, but then what did it give them? Info that they could have found out in a different way?
Well, to be fair,
You
both
know,
plans messed up.
both plans did get messed up. I just felt like there could have been a way without being like, oh, this plan's gonna work. Psych, it's not gonna work. Let's do something else. Oh, actually, this is gonna have to work now because this one doesn't work. And then, oh, well, that's not one working. So let's keep working on this one. Like, I just wasn't too much of a fan of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I thought both plans were clever enough.
I thought both
At
plans
least they didn't
separately.
Canto bite it though.
Canto bite it.
As in, if they'd had it so the painting worked, we would have been like, so why did you go to get that stupid, thing?
Well, that's true. That's true. They had to make use of the helmet,
And if they did
but
the whole thing with the painting and nothing happened, we would have been like, why did you go through all that?
yeah. I mean, they had to use both plans, but I felt like they could have either condensed it or put it into one or something to Yeah. Something like that. I felt like it could have used a rewrite.
I think a rewrite, but I did like the idea of it.
I liked the idea of it, but I felt like when the portal gun first got introduced, it was a cop out.
It was, I will agree with that. But the plan they did, I felt really clever.
The plan they did, I thought it was clever, and then even in the end, managed to she managed to fix it, you know. And she got out. But then they're like, "Oh, we got to capture everybody now."
Yeah, and then he talked
So,
his way out of it, which was cool.
yeah, you know, it's about time.
I feel like that arena scene was just in there for trailers because it didn't actually mean much. They got out quickly.
They did. What did you think about the way that they defeated it, though?
Oh, I didn't see it coming, and I thought it was kind of clever.
Yeah, I thought it was clever too. I was like, okay, you know, they're not gonna play his game. They're gonna do their own thing. So,
Exactly. And then
and I know what a
and
mimic is now. So,
yes, yes. And the way that they used the what's its face was the cube was clever.
yes, I thought that was a clever way of using the cube. Yeah.
And the way they teased like the how to get off the bracelets and then used it was very cool.
How do they get off the bracelets again? I'm trying to
The
remember.
they put their hands in the cube and then pulled them out and the bracelet stuck.
Oh. Oh, I didn't actually. Oh, because she put her hand in there in the beginning.
Yes, and it came out and therefore that's how they got the other one off.
Oh. Okay. Okay, I didn't catch that. I didn't pick up on that, but yeah, that's a smart way to get rid of them, you know.
Exactly.
Cuz I did get confused why suddenly she could be a worm.
Oh, that was her druid power. She can turn into any animal that she has seen before, with
No,
exception.
but because of the bracelets.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I get what you're
But then
saying.
she already got the bracelets off,
Yeah,
so it
she
was
did.
okay. Yeah, so yeah, I thought it was a clever way of getting out. And yeah.
Anyway, so what did you think of the Red Priestess villain?
The red wizard. Why is she wizard? I thought wizards were guys.
Well, wizardess. I don't know the female term for wizards. They're called the wet red.
Witch?
No, no, no. Witches are different. Witches aren't the same thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I thought, yeah, her motivation is kind of weak. I was just kind of like, why do you want to do whatever, give
Because,
people red
well,
dust?
because she wants to take over the place because she was turning them all undead.
Oh. I feel kind of sad for that nobleman that we kept seeing. Saw him like twice, and then he gets turned into an undead person.
Yeah, did you notice this film really hated rich people and nobles?
Yeah. I was like, the guy's just, you know,
I mean there was that where they all died and nothing was said about it.
yeah, no one cared. It's all about the peasants.
And then next it was when it talked about how they only stole from those who could. It's still stealing.
Yeah, like it doesn't make it better just because he can afford it.
I don't get where that morality comes from, but I think it needs to die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the movie in and of itself wasn't super moral. Like in the end, they were still thieves.
Yeah, I don't think they were trying to be. I think they were trying to lend some credence to her to their morality,
Yeah, but
as
you
into
just
their
can't
thieves.
make. Yeah, but I don't agree with it. So.
I mean, I most certainly don't agree with it either. I'm just saying this is what they were doing.
Yeah, it was what it was. I found it cool how they put a portal at the bottom and then all the coins and everything
Started
and
falling
then
out.
put it
You
on his
notice he
ship
followed. He
and
followed like the paladin made him swear it, and it happened.
and it happened. Yeah, because he was about to leave and then he turned around and the paladin made him swear it, which yeah, and then that's I thought that's how they got all the people out of the arena. Because she went to the arena to go kill everybody, and
Yeah,
no
and
one
that's
was
why
there.
everything failed.
That's why. Yeah, and she's like, dang it. So I thought that was a cool way of using a different way of getting people out, you know? They kind of almost used people's greed to save them, which.
Yeah, which is it's kind of reminding me of Batman actually.
How so?
You remember with the when he wanted to get everyone there to Joker gas him, so he gave out free money.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just kind of what
Yeah. It appealed to their greed.
I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of cool, and I'm like, oh, cool, and then him like vomiting it out.
Yeah, it was on his mouth. And then, like, he grabbed the goblin, and that was the last thing to go. And then
I
he
wish,
had
you know
his
what would have
goblet.
been really funny if the goblet was on the table at the end of the movie.
Oh, that would have been funny.
I find
And
it really
one of them
funny
has the
because
goblet.
in my campaign, right now, they managed to find a hitting one of the characters has like a silver goblet with jewels, and he just drinks from it and carries it around. So I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of felt bad for him a bit. Like
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah. I thought that was. Yeah. But, so the Red Wizard. What did you think of her demise?
I actually liked it. It was clever. It dealt. I really liked it because it involved. She was defeated by character progression,
Yeah. Like, you showed him fail in the beginning,
and then he succeeds
then
in the
you
same
show him
situation.
succeed. Yeah. Which I am always a fan for.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
love, you
really
have to
good when
set
they
up.
yeah when they tie it in. It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, the tiefling decided to just murder her. I don't, like, it felt personal to me why she was, like, smashing her, but there was
Well, yeah,
never
because she
anything
got
that.
smashed by the dragon earlier. I think.
Did she get smashed by the dragon?
I don't know. That's the only thing I think. I think.
I don't know. But the dragon, was that a red wizard thing? Oh, that dragon, the one that
It,
was stone.
yeah, I thought the fight. Okay, I'll be honest. I enjoyed the magic fight
Which,
between you know,
oh, I'm trying to remember. I guess I don't remember that one very much, but I remember enjoying it, I think. So,
and then I also I. What do you think of the fight with the mage hands?
oh, and they're like wrestling, and then they broke off his thumb. I was like, ow,
Oh yeah,
that
and
hurt.
then he like managed to reform it just in time to be caught, and then it collapsed. I'm like, yes, I
Yeah.
was like
I was
into
like,
that.
yeah. I was ready. I was like, yeah. I thought it was a very creative way of fighting, to be honest. I thought it was I thought it was kind of cool. I thought in general they had some creative ways of using the different powers and such that wasn't just, oh, magic fireball, you know. So, yeah, I thought it was good, and in the end they defeated her, which I thought they all. I feel like, okay, I'll say this. I feel like they all kind of play to their strengths and such and use their strengths in battle,
Yeah,
except like the barbarian
yeah,
was there to die.
exactly. I'm like, oh,
That was her
okay.
whole point. Yeah, and I was like, oh, looky there. I don't even remember seeing that happen, to be honest. But I was like, looky there. She's dead now. Um, yeah. I don't know. That didn't make me happy, but it's okay.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. So, in conclusion, I think we've discussed everything we wanted to. We were trying out a new
I think
format.
so. I think so, but I think because this movie is really funny, we should talk about some of the funny stuff in it.
I think we kind of did that as we went.
No, I have a lot of funny stuff.
Okay, say your
Plus
funny
the whole
stuff.
dead people.
Say your funny
Okay,
stuff.
funny stuff.
Oh, yes, I do want
When
to talk about.
Forge was sitting there and he had the really hot tea, and so he's like, "Oh, do you mind?" And then she makes her finger ice and puts it in there. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you're going to put your finger in there. I'll just set this aside for later." That cracked me
That
up.
was funny.
Yeah. Let's see what else I have.
He had some really funny lines.
He had some. Yeah. Yeah, they all, to be honest, there were some really good lines. Oh, I did want to comment on the fact that when they had to go find the helmet, I don't think they adequately set up that there was a time limit. So I didn't feel, I was like, okay, you're going to get the helmet, so. And then, like, later, they're like, oh, we need to make it in time for the games. I'm like, oh, you didn't, I don't felt like they set that up well in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
felt,
they
I
did.
didn't feel that ticking time clock, which is always good for a story to have a ticking time clock, but I I didn't feel that. So I felt like they could have, you know. Also, mentioning the deer thing, they did the rule of three. How in the beginning they're like, oh, we need someone. The barbarian's like, we need someone who can turn into a deer. And then later, they're talking to the druid and they're like, yeah, you need to turn into a deer. And then they're like, what? No, she doesn't need to turn into a deer. And then when she escaped,
She
as
turned
she
it.
escaped, she turned into a deer.
I'm
And the
like,
barbarian's like, I knew she needed to turn into a deer.
yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
I thought that was good. And they used the rule of three pretty well, except I will agree with the whole potato thing got a little annoying.
Yeah, maybe
And
that's
I think
because
that's
it's I
because
started annoyed.
it may have. But I think they also did it 4 times or 5 times.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think if they had stuck with the three, it wouldn't have been as bad, you know. So I think in some situations they definitely did the rule of three. Um, oh, so and also, what did you think of their random side plots? It felt
It was
like a yeah, that was I was like, to me because it felt like a D&D thing where like, okay, we need more time. Let's have them go on a
yeah.
such and such. So, yeah, but yeah, so then they went to go dig up the barbarians her tribe or whatever. And then it's like you're breaking sacred ground or
And
whatever.
they
And then
like
he's
do
like, "Yep."
nothing.
So, I thought it was hilarious though.
It was funny. But they I don't know. I thought that that I'll be honest, I thought that the whole what's his face? The four questions guy was funny.
I thought he was too. I liked how they kept going from person to person, and then they're like, "Oh," like one of them like, "Oh, we should leave him." They're like, "What? No, he still have questions." He's like, "What's your favorite book?" And he's like, "Well,"
There's so
and then
many
he's
to
like, "Wait,
choose from.
there's so many to choose from." And then he's like, "Well," and then he's like, "Wait, that was only the fourth question." And yeah, I would have enjoyed it if in like an end credit scene or something, someone would have come along and been like, "What? What are you doing here?" And been like, he would have said something, and then they'd be like, "Finally!" And then he dies.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been
that would have
funny.
been funny.
Yeah. So they did all this just to find Zenk, and they were all like, "Oh," like Chris Pine. I never really quite got the history behind them, but he was like, "Oh, Zank's a horrible person." And everyone's like, "Oh, really? We've all had good experiences with him." And then you see him save this child from this fish thing. You see him give to the poor and the homeless.
Yeah.
And like you see him do all this nice stuff, and I thought that was a good introduction to his character. Oh, and then they're telling him stuff, and they use something or they use some word or whatever, and he's like, "I do not traffic in colloquialisms," and I'm like, Okay. I just thought in general, all
No, it
all
was
of his
great.
lines. I I loved it, honestly. So, oh yeah, and then he gives him that book, which I guess he keeps in the end. I didn't see him keep it. So, because he, yeah. So I didn't see him. I didn't see the point of the book or him keeping it or whatever. But
Yeah, I didn't either.
what are you laughing at? I know you've been sending all kinds of stuff to all kinds of chats, so I know you're not paying that much attention
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm dehydrated.
as you send me another photo.
Yeah, I sent you what I was laughing at.
I let me look real quick. For the first person to fly, can choose a side effect. I can fly. I don't get it.
It's just random and not related.
Oh.
As in the whole thing is the way this game works is that it's supposed to be like ironic monkey's paw, but this way it's just random. It's a little random thing.
Oh, okay. A little random. Okay. I thought it was funny that I didn't actually enjoy the fact that when they were going along with Zank that um Simon broke the bridge and then they just copped out with the portal. I thought that would have been more interesting if you could see them working together to get across the bridge.
Anyway, so
So overall, what did you think of it?
I again like I think it was a 6.5. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I give it 6.5 or a 7. Well, yeah, I'd go with the 6.5 to be honest.
Is that like objective and subjective? Because I
That's
on
objective.
what's your subjective?
Subjective. It was like a 7 or a 7.5 to be honest. It was
Yeah, it
really
kind of was a
funny.
7. I did in 7.
You
7. I
know,
agree with you, but
it
like
was just really I enjoy really funny movies and good dialogue. So that's why I didn't like Iron Man as much.
that's true because they didn't have very good dialogue.
I just felt like it had some really good dialogue. And that was unusual. So, yeah. That's my thoughts.
Hey, well, I'm in agreement with
The
you.
music was average in my opinion, by the way.
Yeah,
Um
I noticed that the map. I wonder if they did this. I in what they did was I felt like they Googled royalty-free fantasy tracks or something.
yeah, that's the vibes I got from it too. It's like, well, icky. Whatever. So I mean, it wasn't, super fantastic or whatever, but yeah, all in all, I thought it was a really funny movie, and if you're ever sick or whatever,
Yeah, that's it. It's just like I see this and it's cool movie.
yeah, yeah. Well, so I guess we haven't quite yet found a good film in this day and age.
Yeah, well, I guess next week we'll have to continue our hunt.
All right then. Until next week, keep
Okay.
hunting.